She said, we're gonna have a wedding.
My name is Barbara Ferguson, and I'm a patient liaison on the second floor of the Emmanuel unit. We had Mr. Devaney, Eddie Devaney.
I tell you what, I loved Eddie more than anything, and I'm most proud of Eddie, and I hope that, sorry, I don't mean to get choked up, but it's kind of emotional still.
Well, it's still a wound. It just barely has a scab over it, so it doesn't take much to talk about it, and it just, it's hard. Well, he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer that had spread to his liver, and his body was shutting down.
And Dr. Canola had told him on a Friday morning that he was only going to live about a week or so. So I went in, and Mr. Devaney, Eddie, was asleep. And as I walked out the door, Tammy was at the door. And she told me that they were planning on getting married, but then he was diagnosed with cancer.
We were going to get married in July. And we planned it for October the 15th. Well, October the 6th, he went in the hospital.
So I asked her, I said, well, do you have marriage license? And she told me yes. So I didn't say anything to her, and I came down here to the chapel.
And she darts into my office and says, can you do a wedding?
So he told me yes, and did they have their license? And I said yes, and he said, tell them I'll be up in an hour.
I said, well, you start on the floor. I'll pull out some information to get the wedding ceremony ready and do some work on that.
So I go back upstairs, and Eddie was still asleep. So I said, do you want to get married today? And she said, yes. And I walked out of the room, and I went up to the desk, and I said, guys, we're going to have a wedding today.
I was working at the desk on 2 Center, and actually Barb was the one that told me that we were going to do it. I said, do what? I said, a wedding? She said yes, and that's when we all kind of got excited and jumped on the ball and got stuff done.
So pretty soon I went upstairs, up on the second floor in oncology, and the team, there was a sparkle in their eye, because they were just planning how they could be great help to these folks.
So I called the kitchen, got a cake. Connie, which is a liaison on 4 Center, her and I decided we would decorate the chapel. So we went to the chapel on 2 Center. We rearranged everything.
They were very creative. Someone decided you could fold over bed sheets and lay them on the floor. That would make the runner for them to come into the room on.
I've never seen anything like that before.
A PCT on 4 Center bought some roses, and I called Susie Kleiber, and she made a bouquet. A nurse, Cindy McCullough, she played the organ. She downloaded some music.
Everyone, I think, got involved. They found a photographer. One of our staff members is a very good photographer. They contacted him, so he was soon available. We planned it for 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock Friday afternoon.
Had the cake, 2 Center staff bought presents. They were having a masquerade sale over in the Bellefonte Center, and one of the nursing assistants that was in the float pool, she took Tammy and went over and bought 2 wedding bands, $5 wedding bands, one for her and one for Eddie. So we had something new, something borrowed, something blue, and we had everything.
It is very unusual. I don't know. We have I work with a bunch of great people, big-hearted people as well. So I just think that put all of our brains together and we can do about anything.
Oh, it was buzzing everywhere. Yeah. We couldn't wait for it to take place. It just fell in place.
Yeah.
It was just like a chain reaction. We just all went and had it done and had it ready. And then all we had to wait on was Dan and the patient.
When I went into Eddie's room, it was about 5 minutes to 1. He was asleep, of course, very tired. And the nurse and I went into his room, and she woke him up. So they got him into a wheelchair. We pushed him out of the room, and of course then down the aisle, probably a 6-foot aisle. It wasn't very long.
Mr. Halter came up, and Dr. Darnell and Marguerite, and the family all came.
I took him up there and pushed him up there and did the ceremony. I'll always remember this, because after it was over and people clapped, tears, there wasn't a dry eye in this entire place. Not a dry eye. And I'll always remember Eddie looking up and saying, now that was worth waking up for. Eddie died on Tuesday.
They didn't know he was going to die that quickly, and neither did we, but we all have to go. And it's important that what time we have here, that we live it to the fullest. And if that made him happy, then that's the last good thing he can remember. And that's what it's all about for him, for us, for everybody.
I was asked to share at his funeral on Thursday. His brother spoke first and shared some just very honest, direct things about his brother and about their lives together. And I spoke a eulogy piece, and I couldn't help but to add at the end. I had to connect that. It was just, it just had to flow out that at the end, I spoke of Eddie's faith, newfound faith, and connected that, if you will, to perhaps Eddie's experience of waking up in heaven and saying, now that was worth waking up for.